I'm pretty upset. If you guys know, I've been having some memory card issues. Every now and then it would say memory card corrupted, needs format, whatever. I've saved it numerous of times and then reformatted the memory card on the camera so it's, you know, configured for the camera. And I got a new memory card. I destroyed the last one. The little lock came off of the memory card and the memory card was stuck in lock, so I thought there was something maybe I could just switch over with like a little pin or something, and ended up destroying the memory card. So I got a new memory card, which is in this camera now. And I went to go upload it to my computer right now to clear all the old footages off the memory card so I could further make, you know, more videos without running out of memory. So I went to go stick it in my computer. I was able to upload about 4 or 5 clips of the whole thing I recorded today with HONDAVLOG's car, and it corrupted while uploading. So I've tried 6 different ways to try to save all the data from the memory card and no luck. So everything from the beginning up until the alternator, I lost it all. So just a little brief of what we're doing today, guys. We got HONDAVLOG's car right here, and we're swapping in a B17a1 engine, which he dropped off. You guys should have seen in like the last video. And today's goal is to get this in the car and at least 90% done. 90% meaning everything that we have provided with the engine, everything with the engine in the car. And there's like few odds and ends that we don't have, like this guy right here, and currently the issue with the throttle body. So I'm gonna start camera roll with what we have from the footages before everything was lost, and then we'll catch up. When an engine comes to you with no bolts, you're gonna have to just do what you got to do to make it work. So I'm using a longer 12. Yeah, it spins on the other side, but you know, once you do it one time with a ratchet and a wrench, it'll secure in place. You don't have to worry about it again later. But I'm also noticing that we don't have a belt. No belt there. Oh, right there. Now, because this belt is longer, we're gonna have to modify the frame rail a little bit. If you guys know the B series guys for the EF, we have to modify our rail a little bit to clear the pulley. You can get away with a much shorter belt, which brings the alternator all the way forward to give you more room between the rail. You know, in this case, we're gonna have to do what we have to do. Yeah. Oh shoot, this thing's got oil in it, boy. Not much. I don't think there's oil in here anyways. Yeah, I can just pull this oil pressure sensor off the single cam, since we don't got one here. But in replace of the Fram, we have a Honda unit. Oh yeah. Didn't have to use my unit since this box already has one on here. Lucky for me, I bought this hose the other day that I didn't need, and it's long enough. Oh yeah. You go to the parts store, you tell the guy what car, what make, what model. 92, 93 Acura Integra GSR 1.7 liter. This is what they're going to give you for the spark plugs. This is what we're running. So again, guys, with the throttle body situation, either we use the stock one and block the fast idle valve underneath and just bypass that altogether and run the hose for the IAC all the way to this barb here, or I go to the storage and salvage one of the stock throttle bodies off one of my other manifolds and stick it on here. But we're definitely going to worry about this after, because my goal is to get everything underneath done, and everything else on top that, you know, we got to take care of, like injectors and all that. We can do it when the engine's in the car. But as of right now, I think we're just about ready to slap this engine to the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and just worry about this later, push this engine out of the way, or actually away, and then I'm gonna start yanking that motor out. So you guys already know the deal. I'm not gonna show you guys everything here, and I did mention that I am gonna be taking out the harness in the car, because the multi-point conversion is hardwired all the way to the ECU, so there's no connector that can disconnect to pull the harness out with the engine. I'm just gonna go ahead and yank the engine out, and in just a second here, the engine is gonna come out of the car. Yep, engine is out, right? Gotta modify the engine bay a little bit, and then that is gonna be in there in 1, 2, 3. Boom, done. Before I forget, us EF guys with B swaps, we don't use this dust ring right here. It's going to cause a bindage with the axles, and then your wheels won't turn. So you just pop them off just like that on both ends, and then we should be ready to slap in the axles. This guy's got fast brakes bracket and Integra calipers with 11-inch rotors. That's freaking cool. And these are the same one that I have, not the wagon, but the same ones that I have, but drill slotted. You see that? The same ones right here. I even got the fast brake brackets right here as well too. Check that out. So I have CRX SI spindles in my storage that I'm gonna grab when I have some free time, and I'm gonna do a big brake conversion, and then I'm probably gonna sell it or put it in my CRX. I don't know if I mentioned this before. The multi-point conversion was done a long time ago by Christian, and everything is butt connected. I don't advise doing it this way because, you know, I left the harness on the car because a lot of these wires are hardwired through the firewall to the ECU, and I would have to snip it if I remove the whole harness with the engine. So I pulled it off the engine and kind of hung it over here, right? Because I was trying to avoid like breaking one of these butt connectors. And when I was doing the rear mount, I noticed this guy over here wide open. This is what I'm talking about. Now, granted, this goes to TPS sensor, right? TPS wires right here, and that is probably where it goes to. So I'm gonna have to re-crimp this with another connector, but hopefully there's nothing else on here that falling apart. I'm about to snake it all through back right now. I'm gonna leave this guy open just so it makes it easier. Everything here should plug right back up except the fan switch. The fan switch on this one is on the back of the block. The fan switch on here is OBD1 style, which is on the thermostat housing on a plug instead of the 2 prongs it typically sits on, which is these 2 guys, right? But what I did notice is that there is a fan switch on the back of the block that is this style. But the thing is, it's broken, so it wouldn't clip. So what I have to do with this guy is I'm gonna have to extend it about a foot, right? So it's gonna use this style of a plug, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and just snip it, extend it, so that way when I run this all back, I can run the fan switch right there. So I forgot to mention that these innovative motor mounts I provided to Christian to help him save a little cost, because we're doing this at a bare minimum, and I hooked him up with that to get this engine planted in the car. Shout out to Joaquin. The reason why we lost a lot of daylight is because I was chilling with him earlier. He dropped off one of his spare transmission for me to work on for his all-wheel drive car. Focus, there it is. And he came through with a lower radiator hose because I needed one for the swap. You need a B series radiator hose. Why? Because the diameter is different, and I already provided the top one, which is right here, B16 style, B17 style, right? And this is the lower B series hose. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run this right now. I think most of the wirings are done. The only thing left really is map sensor and whatever jumper he's using inside of the car. They provide VTEC pressure switch, and O2 that should reach, yes, and TPS, because we don't have a throttle body. But other than that, it's just hoses, and you know, we're pretty much there. Just radiator and injectors. Alright guys, so where did we leave off yesterday? So Joaquin came back, we were hanging out, he bought some pizza, we were just chilling the rest of our night, and I kind of continued working on the car a little bit late, like 12 o'clock late. So last night I pretty much buttoned up everything that I could here in the engine bay. I did the fuel rail, the fuel line, the fuel injectors, making sure all of the wires are still intact. And I made a little list of everything we need before we can turn this car on. And starting off today with my little trip to the storage to grab the throttle body off my B16 manifold, throttle body cable bracket, shift linkage, header to the exhaust. The header to the exhaust surprisingly lines up. It's just clocked on the opposite side. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to cut the header, clock it, and then weld it. Gotta mount the blaster because it is just chilling right there, and fluids, trans fluid, coolant, engine fluid, O2 sensor, since that one is blocked off on the header, and we have a brand new OBD1 sensor right there that we can use, and then VTEC solenoid because we ain't got that. But Christian does live far from me, and you know, it's a trip for him to come out here, so I told him, you know what, I'll just toss one of my VTEC solenoid, at least the top half of it, on his engine for now, and once he gets the other one, he can replenish me back. So I got 2 solenoids from you know, spare heads over the years right there. Shall we put the big one on it so it can crack VTEC? I don't know about that theory, but definitely want to use the one that has the OBD1 style plug right here, right? And that should plug up to his wiring, which is chilling right there. Which one of this gasket is gonna fit? This came in the kit that Christian brought over. Looks like this one. Nope, this way. That right there covers all of these ports, and we don't have any excess on the bottom compared to this guy, which is for the single cam. This is the issue I had with the other throttle body. It has these 2 holes open where a vacuum would leak and cause a high idle. This guy works too. It's just a bigger version of this guy, and this guy is the same. So any one of these 3s will work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab that. Bare minimum. So the throttle body is not a B16, it's a GSR. You can tell because the valve itself is like the opposite way. You know what I mean? If this was like a B16 LS style, this would be on the top, and the valve would go the other way. When you're stepping on the pedal, it's pulling that way. In this case, this is on the bottom and the valve spins this way, so I had to makeshift a bracket. I didn't use the original single cam one, just added a couple different bends from materials I had lying around, and that is pretty firm on there. So yeah, this is done. The fact that these guys are smoking freaking wood and barbecuing like every day, I'm telling you guys right now, it's hot here. I am sweating. I'm sweating through my clothes because the smoke is constantly coming this way, and I'm just about to lose my patience right now.
those at risk can shop from 10 to 11 and everyone else from 11 to 2.
So we are just about complete here. The last thing to do is to program the S300 to run this B17. I think you could just use like a OEM B16 map, but I'm gonna be running this car with the current ECU is in there. I don't know what's in there, but it's an OBD1 ECU that ran the last engine, which is non-VTEC, so I'm more than certain it's just a PO6 or PO5. PO5 is like the economy ECU. PO6 is a non-VTEC single cam OBD1. P28 is the VTEC version. But I'm just gonna turn it on with that ECU for right now. What in the world is that? Oh, he done banging everything over there. Anyways, I'm just going to use that ECU for now, make sure everything's all good and dandy, and then do the cooling system, and then after that we'll program the ECU to configure it for, you know, the B17. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the battery real quick. The thing is, the trunk doesn't sit flush, so I can't even open the trunk, so I gotta crawl my way back here. You gotta remember to tighten. Ooh. Ooh. What is going on? What is going on? So the spark that was happening in the back has something to do with the starter. I took the starter power wire out, threw the battery negative on, and it stopped sparking. So all I did was kind of twisted it over, and then it stopped sparking. So the battery is hooked up, and I did try to turn the car on off camera, and the car wouldn't turn on at all. And I whipped out my compression tester. I tested number 1, 0 compression. When I went to go crank it, it just had that 0 compression sound, you know, like straight whining noise, no compression noise whatsoever. So I took the valve cover off, I checked the valve lash. A couple of them were a little bit off, but still within service limits. I think it's just one of those engines that, you know, it sat for a long time, so I don't know, it needs to build compression or something. But I just tried it again right now. It still sounds like it has no compression. But yeah, I did a few tests here and there to try to figure out what was going on. But I don't know. I think it's just one of those that it just needs to build compression. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to like attempt to turn it on right now, and just, I guess we have a full battery and another battery in the trunk, and I got a battery pack in case we run out of battery. But let's try to turn it on. Surprisingly, like I said, I fit in this seat really tightly. But all right. Oh. Okay. That was a little effort. It does sound like it has a little exhaust leak. But it is on the stock exhaust system too, so it's pretty quiet, and I can feel the vibration on my butt. What the hell? Where's this muffler? Oh my god. What in the world, boy? What in the world? So guys, the car turns on. No weird ticks. It does have an exhaust leak right there. I can hear it right there. I don't think it's my weld job. I'm pretty sure it's right there. But car's on. No check engine lights. Granted, it is a non-VTEC ECU, so I'm gonna have to program in the S300 probably after I do the cooling system. I'm probably gonna do that right now, and then we'll put a base map on that. Houston, we have a slight problem. So I went down there and tightened up the exhaust header bolt, and the one right here near the radiator, there's not even a nut there. But while I was down there, I had seen some oil leaks, and I know it was sitting on the dash 10 bung cap. Probably gonna tighten that up a little bit more. Oh shit, look at that. Where are you coming from? Holy moly. What is going on here? Where are you leaking from? I'm gonna have to sort that out real quick, guys, but we're almost there. We are almost there. So, I think I already got used to getting into the seat. I don't know what noise that is, but let's go for a drive around the block. Oh, dude, it drives so easily. Oh, no mirror. I'll tell you what, it does smoke a little bit. I can see the smoke a little bit. Wow. Shay's a smoker. Most definitely a smoker. What is that I'm dragging on the floor? Oh crap, that's my my orange cone. Sounds like the shield is on the passenger rotor. I'm probably gonna have to pull that back a little bit, but dude, this thing sounds freaking so quiet. I mean, quieter than what I'm used to. And for the stock ECU, not bad. Wow, this is so legit. It's got a short shifter on it too. Yo, this thing feels awesome. I'm digging this small bucket seat. Look at my cone. Guys, I am super pumped about this car. It feels freaking awesome. Granted, it smokes a little bit. The car used to be turboed and it sat for a very long time. And we only did the maintenance stuff that we can get to. I'm sure this engine is probably going to need new rings or whatever the case is, but it's not boosted anymore, so it should be okay. It's not super noticeable, but if you stand there and pay attention to it, it smokes a little bit. I think the fan switch is not working on that thermostat housing, and the fan doesn't come on at all. It doesn't get hot, but it doesn't come on at all. So I got this little hidden key right there. It's a little cotter pin, to tell you the truth, but that's for sticking the prong to trigger the fan to be on all the time. I think in this case it needs to be triggered on all the time, unless I pull the fan switch off of this engine and stick it on there. But then I would have to bleed the cooling system again. Right now it's super hot, but running with the fan on, there's no really big deal to it, other than when it's like rainy or cold weather or whatever the case is. The car's gonna take a little bit longer to warm up. Aside from that, the engine runs really good on that stock ECU. I'm still gonna run the Honda. I mean, honestly, it runs cherry on this ECU, and that ECU is actually for his Del Sol. So without that ECU, his Del Sol is gonna be out of commission. Honestly though, he can take this ECU and stick it on his Del Sol because it's non-VTEC, and use that for a base map to run like the VTEC side of this engine, obviously, right? Because if you run that ECU, he won't have VTEC. One other thing I did notice just now is that he is leaking oil pretty bad right there, and that's not coming from anywhere here. The oil leak from here stopped. I put RTV on the gasket of the solenoid, the body, but that is coming in between the cylinder head and the block, so it may need a head gasket soon. Christian, I'm letting you know right now, it may need a head gasket soon. The exhaust still leaks a tad bit. I did put a third bolt on it, but I think the gasket is bad, so off camera, probably, maybe, you don't really hear it inside the car. I might pull it off and just weld it completely shut. But I just wanted to take the car for a spin real quick to see how the car feels, to show you guys the car runs and drives, and the excitement of me driving the car shows it all. So I think that's pretty much going to be it for this video, guys. I have a lot to clean up still, and I got to compile all of the stuff that Christian has to take back because I can't leave any of this stuff here. So there are a few things, like I said, I'm going to button off camera. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the EF hatch content finally on the channel, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you guys want to see some more progress updates on this hatch from Christian, be sure to follow HONDAVLOGs. I seen his box in the back right there. He's got a lot of suspension components that he's going to be changing here real soon. This car drives great as it is right now, but that's going to make it drive a lot better. So be sure to check the link in the description below. Follow HONDAVLOGs on Instagram and on YouTube. Help him hit 10,000 subscribers hopefully soon. Maybe by the end of this year. He would truly appreciate it, and I would too. Now that this car is done, guys, we are going to resume on my CRX. Finally, we're going to be installing the turbo kit, so be sure to hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see that. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.